obviously something has clicked with your sound, not just for underground heads like myself or whatever, but it seems obviously with the Mercury Prize nomination and the Grammy nomination, I mean, something has clicked with the two of you in this, I don't know, desire to kind of pay respect to the masters or the old school, the Larry Herds, the Mark Kinchins, the Kevin Saundersons. I mean, is that accurate, that this album kind of...
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we take massive influence from all those people, and all the Chicago, Detroit kind of late 80s, early 90s music in terms of production. But I think what kind of sets us different slightly from what they were doing is that we're writing pop songs on the majority of most of our tracks. They have like verses and choruses as opposed to like build-ups and drops or whatever. But yeah, in terms of production, those people influence us massively.
If you take all the production like off songs like Latch and White Noise, it is just like a normal song.
Mm-hmm.
Like you play it on piano and sing along like acoustically, which is, I think, because that's what we grew up listening to, conventional, normal, good pop music, right? 80s, soulful music.
But then at the same time, if you take the vocals off of any of our tracks, they're just like, White Noise is just a Chicago house track. Yeah,
sure.
For sure. Just a catchy bass line, simple chords, and 4/4 kick. Like, not saying it's like easy to make like that.
But you bought, Stimulation and...
so
you've got tracks on the album that are straight up bangers. They're not pop songs.
Well, that's the other half of us. The only thing we set out to do with the album was to make a nice balance between the two. Making tracks that we thought would work well with maybe a wider audience, might connect with a few more people because of the working vocalists and writing words, and then tracks that we thought would go down well in the club, like Grabber, Stimulation. Especially, Stimulation and You and Me, that's the kind of other side of us as well, like the garage side, the UK garage, and that's equally, if not more, an influence for us. Like, garage was there for us before house, really, before that comes from there. So, I think, for me as a drummer, that was like the first dance music I heard that I could really get into because of the rhythm and the grooves and the speed. You've got drum and bass, that's always the same rhythm and it's always the same speed, it's always just the same thing. With house, there's so much you can do because it's just that right speed to get those things on the offbeats and shuffle and straight. And I think, as musicians, we thought that was the best place for us to go to write songs over if we weren't going to go into hip hop. And obviously, we're not rappers, so we thought we could do house.
There seems, though, to be a decided effort to embrace hip-hop culture in the way that you do, not only with bringing Vic on tour and having his songs in your essential mix.
Well,
that's how I describe it.
I think that's because hip-hop was there for us a long time before house. I wrote hip-hop when I was 12 or 13.
Just a couple of years ago.
God, yeah, I wish. More like, but again, we were listening to it for the production values, not for the rapping. All of our favourite producers, like Jay Dilla and Premier, and others, we were just listening to them just because we love the beats and the production, which is something completely that we want to do in the future. But we were never going to be a hip hop act. So we thought, I don't know. I think just the more we looked into electronic music, I think we thought the best and most forward-thinking, original, and exciting area going on like a few years ago was dubstep and house. So that's why we started messing around and making it. Yeah, it was fun. Yeah.
It's kind of cool that you guys have this appreciation for the older artists and for things that you grew up listening to. But with the record Settle, you've kind of also become tastemakers. You've introduced a lot of people to Sam Smith and to Olivia George and to London Grammar and bands they never heard of before. Is this kind of something that you guys have always enjoyed doing as well, finding new artists, finding other people to kind of work with and collaborate?
No, I wouldn't say it's something we've always enjoyed doing.
I don't think we knew we were doing it at the time.
You kind of were
to me,
happy.
You're almost like proud papas because you've almost birthed the careers of these people.
It's a really nice thing to look back on and think, oh, we might have helped do that. But at the time, we don't think, let's help break these guys. It's more like we just want to work with Sam Smith because he's like a 1 in a million amazing singer.
When I always love telling people this, but when Latch got to number 11 in the charts in the UK, Sam was still working in a pub, like serving drinks. So it's not like we never got involved with him because we thought, that could really benefit us for business reasons or whatever. We just got word from our friend Jimmy, who helped write Latch, that this guy was just an awesome singer. So we just went in the room with him and wrote Latch the day we met him.
We're just doing it for the music, and sing laps like Sam can. And that's why it came out the way it did. And we don't work with people because they're big or because we want to like grab a bit of their fan base and make ourselves bigger. It's like if they are big but they're good, fine, but they can be someone that you find working in the band.
And now I think it's important to embrace the live performance as much as you can, especially in the electronic genre. And you guys certainly do that. You trigger a majority of the stuff that happens in the live performance. And I think that's also what sets you guys apart. There really is a dedication not only to the music being, an homage, so to speak, but you're also out there kind of breaking down some of the electronic stereotypes, like as you say, press and play.
But I feel like, because like Howard said, with that kind of act, they bring so much video and visuals and explosions and fire to kind of just distract from the fact that there's not a lot to watch when someone's doing a Ableton set or whatever set, or even even to a certain extent. Like if you're just using 4 CDJs and you're actually mixing, if you're playing to like 50,000 people like some of these huge DJs do, like if the person in the back's not going to be able to relate to what's going on up there, so you've got to see big, massive explosions. Whereas with us, we wanted to just keep it really simple, with the lights and with the production, because even though there is an absence of a vocalist, we feel like there's enough going on stage for people to be entertained.
But you're more than just producers, you're actually trained
we're
musicians,
musicians
right?
before producers.
Explain that to people who might not know what your background is.
Howard played bass since he was about 6 or 7, and piano. I played drums since I was about 3, I used to teach drums. We're not like professionally trained or anything like that, quite self-taught. We did a bit of like learning to read music, and we did like a very conventional, normal music course at school, and music technology. But no like sort of special music school or anything like that. Me and Howard really just love nothing but to be in a 70s punk band, really.
Together pretty damn close.
That's
the closest we're going to get.
So how does that happen? Can you tell me the story?
Well, when you get
how Nile Rodgers, did he approach you? Did you approach him? How did it work?
Yeah, he just hit us up, said he was a big fan, and wanted to meet, and we were like, yeah, obviously. So we met, and I don't know, I think when you get in a room with Nile Rodgers, you don't really want to make house. You want to make like soulful music, and play guitar. So guitar doesn't really work on our stuff, so we were like, we just got to take it somewhere totally different, and
it happens to everyone though. Look what he did to Daft Punk.
It's
like,
dance act. He's a producer. I think he comes into the room and he says, "This is what we're going to do," and it's great, because when you all have the same vision, it really works. Yeah, and for that day, as soon as he heard that beat, he was like, "Damn!" So he just started doing his thing. We were all just sitting there, just like these chords just flying out of him, like. We did like 3 or 4 different songs that day. Well, not full songs, but recorded him doing like 3 or 4 different like chord progressions, and it was like every fucking thing that he played just like came out was like potentially you could finish like into a massive song.
Right. I feel like what he did on Together is almost more effective than the Get Lucky thing. Is just kind of it's there and it's great, but that
But the reason I love
so great.
Nile for that for Get Lucky as well is because it's still that. The same thing he plays in every single song.
Much sexier.
I guess. But what I was going to say was like he does that same rhythm and that same kind of vibe in every single song he's basically ever made. But each song sounds so different, and each song is so like tailored for the artist, whether it's Madonna or Bowie or whatever. It's like you can still hear Nile on it, but it's like how can you work with such a variety of people and still come out like that? And then you get together, which is like I don't think I've ever heard Nile on a beat like as swung or as loose as that.
It's just so much slower than anything else.
Yeah. So what do? You play him this beat, and he just puts the headphones on and just starts.
We were started on another song. I think it was like a different thing altogether, and then we went for lunch. And whilst you lot were all eating lunch, I just made the beat. And he came, and you all came back in. You're like, what the fuck's been happening in here?
We started out trying to do like way more disclosure-y sounding stuff. It was all cool and everything, but we just came back in and Guy made like this. Like wannabe D'Angelo beat. Like, okay, right.
I think we were talking about D'Angelo.
All right, well, one final question. Alive or dead, if someone called you, who would you immediately say yes?
Michael Jackson.
Both of you, no question.
Well, that's the dead.
Yeah, that's the dead. What about alive?
Definitely Kendrick. I think he's the best rapper in the world.
Cool. Well, thanks a lot, dudes.
Gentlemen, thank you.
Guy and Howard of Disclosure on tour now. Jeff K. I'm Mark from 102 on the Edge. Thanks, dudes.
Thank you, guys.